Hello, my name is Gabe, and this is my investigation into both the truth of Danganronpa V3 and how it connects to the rest of the franchise. This video will spoil the entire franchise of Danganronpa, so spoiler warning. To begin with, I'm going to recount my previous findings. But if you'd like to hear them in more details, links to the videos in which I discuss them will be in the description and on the screen now. I wouldn't bother. After all, those videos don't have me, so they suck. Also, they're really boring. How did you get in here? Whatever. Now, a summary of what we've learned. Tsumugi is not a member of Team Danganronpa, based on both things she said, things Monokuma said, and the existence of flashback lights altogether. Pretty much every piece of sci-fi tech that appears in V3 has also appeared in previous iterations of the franchise, whether it be light novels, anime, or even previous games. All bonus modes are canon to V3 and just take place after V3's main game, thanks to the existence of flashback lights. Before we even begin, the video shown to us by Tsumugi of all the students agreeing to be on the game and choosing to be on the game are completely faked. Either using similar actors, flashback lights, or some combination of the two. We have both Kaede's thoughts and Shuichi's lines during the prologue. Also note that both Kaede and Shuichi use the same name in the prologue as they do in the main game. Therefore, the name's definitely not fake. Okay, now that that's out of the way, on to more interesting things. It's definitely not fake. Everything we said at the end is 100% the absolute truth. After all, Monokuma never lies because... Yeah... I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Monokuma, no iteration of you has ever told the truth once. That's as good transition as any to talk about the motives. Not the motives for the murders. Those have been talked about a lot, both in and out of game. No, the motives for hosting the killing games themselves. You see, all three main series games have the motive as wildly different. And these different motives for running the games affect both some of the situations the students find themselves in, as well as the motives given by Monokuma. In Trigger Happy Havoc, Junko wanted to make a point that even the people that are considered the world's hope would succumb to despair. So the motives were things that, well, could cause someone to murder, would not necessarily force them to do so, like money, embarrassing secrets, and potential danger to family members. Goodbye, despair. Alter Ego Junko needed physical bodies who were brain dead. She used the Neo world to attempt to kill the remnants of despair. Because she had to obey the rules set into the program, she couldn't directly harm them. But if the students died and then returned to the real world, she could then take them over. She needed a few alive to do that, but in that case, the killing game's purpose was to get down to 5 students as quickly as possible. Note, while Makoto was watching, that was more of a bonus. So we got motives like diseases that forced you to kill, and Monokuma trying to starve everyone until someone killed someone. Killing harmony. Team Danganronpa was just trying to get, essentially, more views, higher ratings, that sort of thing. So the motives often incorporated big twists, like secretly being the president, or a serial killer with a dead sister, or led to some suspenseful situations, like showing one person a big secret that no one else was privileged to and seeing how they'd handle that. Or even making one of the students a cult leader. Next up, we need to talk about control. Hey, I was in control the entire time. No, you were barely in control. Now, Tsumugi claims that every character interaction was planned by her or someone else on Team Danganronpa, including Maki falling for Kaito Momoto, Luminary of the Stars, as well as Kaito's disease. Both are doubtful, for 2 very important but different reasons. Number 1, they would never give a killing game player a disease. After all, no matter how advanced your tech is, you can't control a disease. But what about Danganronpa 2? I had complete control of the despair disease. Danganronpa 2 was a game. as you yourself so delicately put it. Both the environment and the disease itself were fakes put into that virtual world. In a real-life situation, you'd never be able to control the disease like that. And no one who watches a killing game would want one of the players to die by natural causes instead of being killed. Also, and most importantly, if they could actually write scenarios as well as they claimed they could, ultimate real fiction would have been pointless, as you could have just had actors play out those same scenarios. Therefore, I believe it's safe to assume that outside of the personalities and memories planted in these students, every interaction they had was naturally their own. Also on the subject of control, Team Danganronpa lost control of this killing game constantly. But most importantly was at the end of the game when Kokichi claimed to be the mastermind. Team Danganronpa lost control at that point and never got it back. Now, to wrap this all up in a pretty little bow, how does this game connect to the rest of the franchise? To explain, I believe Team Danganronpa themselves truly believed that the previous killing games were fictional. Note, the book we found was placed during a point of no control, meaning that book was not prepared for this killing game. Also note the way the book was written and the fact that they didn't even know some details on the book. It's safe to assume the book was gotten from a source outside of their own. Now at the end of the game, Tsumugi describes the real world, or the outside world, as a place with no despair, no pain, no suffering, which makes it really boring. But that world is similar to something we've heard about before in the franchise. What would have happened had the Hope video been transmitted to the outside world, in the whole world, in Danganronpa 3. So here's what I think happened. Sometime after the events of 3, that book was written, the one that we find. Sometime after that, someone actually played the Hope video, which both suppressed anyone's less than hopeful thoughts, which in turn caused even more despair on certain people, ironically, and erased everyone's memory of the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. However, physical evidence like that book itself would probably be a lot harder to erase. Someone who would eventually become part of Team Danganronpa found that book and probably in-universe created fictional versions of the events we see in the games, as games, anime, manga, etc., in that universe, and claimed it as their own creative work. A bonus fact, or bonus theory, I guess, whatever. I doubt that there are actually any more iterations after the original 3. For a few reasons, most notably, however, we have no one's word to go on that they exist. The graphic could have been designed and created for our characters' pleasure, but outside of that, we only see stuff from the first 2 games, and the only words we have to go off are Tsumugi, who's already unreliable, and Rentaro, whose video could easily be faked, through the same method as previously mentioned before. That's it. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please leave it a like. If you want to see more like it, please subscribe. And have a good night, folks.